accustomed to this large of a crowd, so
can we get some guys to some seats again rather than stand up light and long here? All right, so we have Chase, Ryan.
Chase, what made Brandon Bush so hard to stop in the first half?
I haven't watched the tape. You're in the thick of it. Honestly, it's just everything happened so fast, and he made plays, and ultimately we didn't. And that's what football's all about, making plays when you need to. And so hats off to these guys.
Did they do anything in those first couple of series that sort of shocked you at all?
To be honest, I'm not really sure, like where they beat us. I'm still kind of confused. I came in the locker room and I looked around and just, I was kind of confused like how we lost that game because I didn't feel like they had dominated us in any facet of the ball. But like I said, ultimately they made plays when they needed to, and that's a credit to them. And that's what, like I said, football's all about. And they limited the turnovers, and they had one, and we were unable to capitalize off it. We had a lot of penalties, and
Jeff, did you have a question?
I did. What happened on the late hit?
So I asked the ref about it, and I didn't necessarily agree with this call because I was rushing from the left side. He's a right-handed quarterback. He told me I hit him in the back, and that's why he called it. I'm not sure, how that makes any sense. But hey, I don't agree with it, but that's his call, not mine. And so we learn from it, move on.
Was it as physical a game as you guys expected playing it?
For me, I knew going into this game, mentally, I was not retreating. So it was not the physicality that was the hardest part. I think it was the first game, for me at least, and I think other people feel this way, is always the toughest because no matter how hard your camp is, that first game is never, is always tougher. And I feel like maybe they did a better job adapting to it and took advantage of our lack of, whatever. Not being prepared enough. I gotta watch the film.
Over here on the right, Kyle.
What is the mindset, I guess, of the locker room right now? I know you guys put so much on this game and kind of geared towards it as a prove-it game for Michigan. But what's the mindset?
This is my personal take on it. I came back to Michigan. I can't speak. I'm not. I haven't talked to every person in the locker room. But there's an expression, take the island by burning the boats, and for me, it's I came back and forgoed the draft, if that makes any sense. And for me, it's I got a mission to do, and I'm gonna do my best to influence them in that way, and let them know that I think it was 13 to 16 teams that made the playoffs had one loss. So ultimately, everything's still on the table for us, and there's lessons to be learned.
On the right, Angelique.
Chase, the other day, maybe it was a week ago, you said this game would indicate the trajectory of this team. Can you, maybe that's not what you really meant? Does it give you
sometimes quotes don't age very well. And it's one of those things where if there's anything about the trajectory, I'd say, we were battling out there, and sometimes things don't go your way. That's life, that's football on the road, Notre Dame, under the lights. Just going to move on, and we're going to keep battling. I think the trajectory is, we're coming together in the locker room. It didn't seem, one thing I did note was there wasn't a lot of blaming. It wasn't pointing fingers. The defense still feels like, maybe going into the game we had some different expectations. But at the end of the day, you give up 24 points or whatever. What did we give up? 24, right? Yeah, it just puts a lot of pressure on your offense, and it's on us.
Back left.
Chase, there's been a lot of talk in camp about how, from your guys' perspective, the offensive line has looked different. Were you surprised at all about the way that they performed today?
I was so focused on trying to survive out there. It was a doozy. So for me, I didn't pay much attention to the offensive line. I just know I know they're working hard, and just like myself and everybody else on this team, we got corrections to be made. And I'm sure they're a well-coached group of individuals, and they're going to be sure to make those corrections moving forward.
In the middle, Will.
Did you guys feel unprepared defensively the first?
I like the hair, by the way.
Yours too, man.
It's a little messy. It's a little naughty.
Did you feel unprepared defensively over the first two series, maybe?
I didn't feel unprepared. I felt like it was one of those things where you come off the sideline and you're just for me, it was kind of like, I don't know, where do we go wrong? presence was overwhelming to us, and they made plays and beat us.
On the right, Adam.
Obviously, a lot of changes on your offense. Your defense brings back a lot. I mean, how much pressure do you feel to kind of lead this team until that offense establishes more?
I felt like I definitely feel that pressure. That's just the way it's kind of been. If you look at it, from a factual standpoint, it's kind of been a defensive-led group the past couple years, and the offense is going to come along. Offense is, I'm sure you guys can agree on this. Is defense, you can get a bunch of good athletes and fast people, and you could have a coach and you could blitz and things work out. But for offense, like everything needs to be in sync, and we've had to overcome some adversity with Tariq, and we're still figuring some stuff out on the offensive line. You can point at a lot of stuff, but they're going to come along and be just fine. You saw glimpses of it today, I think.
Chase, you mentioned that you didn't feel like you got out of play, but they hung 3 touchdowns up on you in the first half, but they didn't do it in the second half. Was there something tangibly different about the second half than the first half?
And that's why I said I felt like, second half, I think we kind of found our groove a little bit more. But this might be a hot take. I don't mean it to be. They're a great football team and stuff, but I just didn't feel like they dominated us. I just felt like they went up and some 50-50 plays, and schematically someone's angry.
I got 1 or 2 more questions.
Yeah, just schematically they just did what they had to do.
Chase, you had a couple big plays defensively, Khalid tackled for loss, but Brandon Watson, not only special teams, but the interception. Can you just kind of talk about what you saw from some of the other guys on the defense?
I'm sorry, is that a personal thing?
Well, I mean, for you, I mean, you had some big plays tonight, but I mean, Khalid had tackles for loss. I mean, Brandon with that interception. What did you see from the other guys looking at?
For me personally, I don't know if I could have hit him anymore. I felt like at some points I was pitching a tent in the backfield. I think I had 8 or 9 quarterback hits. And for the other guys, coming up the sideline asking them what they thought, I felt like everything was, talking to the people, defensive. There's always a sense that we were still in control, and so we didn't falter, and that's a good sign, I think, for things to come.
Is that kind of a sense of, I don't know, relief or confidence that you guys still felt like you had some control there despite everything happening?
And I think it's important to note, I think that's different than last year. I think last year, things went array. You see it in the South Carolina game, you see it at other points where I think, things kind of, went astray. And if, we had kind of that mindset last year, I think they could have really done some damage on us. Look at Penn State. And this year, I think it was opposite. I think, we had given up some points, but we had come together and we regrouped and went back out there to do what we had to do, trying to give our offense the best chance to win.
What were the conditions like out there? There was a lot of cramping going on.
Yeah, that's what I said. For me, it was probably personally, I'd say, my most tiring game. At one point, both my groins cramped up. It was a terrible feeling.
All right, guys, we're gonna move Chase out, and we're gonna bring in Ambry.